When in doubt, zoom out. And in today's video, that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Taking a look at why Bitcoin is still bullish on the macro charts, going over the lowest possible target Bitcoin could reach on this correction, and even the likelihood of an upcoming reversal. Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having an amazing day today. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the macro charts, going over a few key indicators you should be watching, and discussing why Bitcoin is very much still looking bullish on the high time frame. We'll also go over the short-term price action, discussing the possibility for a reversal and the lowest price projection we expect if the correction continues downward. Before we do get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos on Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. It is the third link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in loop of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and the relevant economic news. If you are interested in trading, you can join our VIP group. We post trading setups with the exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and you'll even get access to our multitude of group chats, our general chat, our trading chart and education chat, our news, our help, our trade setup, and our video chat if you're interested in joining that. With over 600 members, contact us in the pinned comment of the free channel for more information. Let's go ahead, guys, and dive into the video. So Bitcoin in the last 24 hours hasn't done all that much. We are still consolidating sideways underneath that major $40,000 resistance range. Taking a look at the 24-hour data, we can see 24-hour volume has dropped 13.35%, sitting at a total of $80 billion. With a 13% reduction in volume, we have seen a 20% reduction in 24-hour liquidations, sitting at a total of 83 million. Of the 83 million in liquidations, a total of 49 million have come from longs, and a total of 33 million have come from shorts. Taking a brief look at the price action, we can see over the last 24-hour period, not all that much has happened for Bitcoin. We've established a nice short-term base of support around about that 39,500 level, and we are consolidating again between that 39,500 to that 40,200 level, a key consolidation range. And again, this rectangular consolidation is a result of, again, this major resistance that we are retesting right above us on that higher time frame, which happens to be that prior level of support sitting between 40,200 and 40,800. We'll come back to this in the video. Moving over to the DXY, we can see the DXY is still looking decent here. It is sitting above its short-term uptrend. It is sitting above the 50 EMA, and it is sitting above this horizontal base of support. So we do have 3 points of validation that we are in a overall uptrend over here. Again, a loss of these 3 points of confluence will be required for the short-term trend to flip back toward the downside. Until then, again, while these points of validation remain intact, the price is expected to continue much higher. Moving over to the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, overall, still looking very good. We are still looking for our targets around $5,000. On the S&P 500, again, we are in this price discovery range, so it's very hard to base our targets on prior historical data. We have to base it on psychological levels of resistance, and people generally like full numbers, whole numbers, round numbers, so 5,000, 4,900, 5,100, these key potential levels where people are going to be layering sell orders that could potentially act as an area of resistance. So we're looking at that $5,000 level. Moving downwards from there, we can see we have established that base of support between these two horizontal black lines. This area is going to be acting as support. Therefore, while we remain above this level, we expect a continuation up to 5,000. A loss of that local low results in this being deviation. The trend will reverse back downwards. Moving over to the Dow Jones, a very, very similar scenario over here. Target being 39,000 on the higher time frame. Again, a psychological level. We're also looking at the level just below it, 38,800. This is going to be an expected area of resistance. Again, expected, as it is not a validated area of resistance as we are in price discovery. It is a psychological level of resistance we are estimating to be resistance based on what we perceive people to be doing in the market. This area, however, is a confirmed area of support. We do have our range low. A loss of the range low will result in a correction short term toward the downside. While we remain above the support level, we are looking for a continuation upwards to this psychological level of resistance. Let's go ahead, guys, and jump over to Bitcoin. Before we do, a quick word from Bitget and BingX. I wanted to briefly interrupt today's video to discuss the two exchanges we use on this channel, Bitget and BingX. So which exchange should you sign up to? If you look to the right hand side of the screen, you're going to see the list of differences in relation to KYC requirements and the countries these exchanges offer services to. The first link down below being the Bitget link and the second link down below being the BingX link. No matter which link you sign up to, you're going to get up to 15% discounts on your trading fees, up to $5,000 in trading rewards, and of course, you'll get access to every single MegaWhale exclusive bonus campaign we run on these exchanges. Alongside that, Bitget and BingX are incredibly similar. They are both ranked top 10 in terms of trading volume. They both have extensive liquidity pools and market pairs offering up to 125x leverage. And most importantly, they both offer protection funds for their users to protect you against any third-party hacks. So get started now and support the channel by clicking the links below. Thanks for listening. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. So as we said at the start of the video, the macro charts are still looking bullish for Bitcoin regardless of what is happening on the short term, on the daily. The charts are still looking healthy. And in today's video, we're going to be going over this particular chart, talking about a few different indicators. We're going to be discussing the RSI, we're going to be discussing the baseline on the Ichimoku cloud, and we're going to be discussing the Gaussian channel. So let's go ahead and start off with this overall chart. First and foremost, what is it really briefly? This is the 4-year cycle chart. We have our separate cycles. Each cycle consists of a 4-year period. We have first cycle here, second cycle. We are currently in our third 4-year cycle. In our 4-year cycle, we have 4 different years. We have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Year 1 being the downtrend. Year 2 and 3 being the accumulation to transition into bull market. And year 4 being the year that we see our all-time high. We're currently just entered year 3 of the third 4-year cycle phase. Historically, during year 3, we see one very, very important thing occur, and that is based on what we have seen in the past. During the third year of the 4-year cycle, we always see a retest of the prior 4-year cycle all-time high. And you know what I might do really quickly? I might change this pen color to orange just so we can see it a little bit better. We can see this very faint dotted trend line. That dotted trend line represents the all-time high. We saw in the third year, we came up and retested that all-time high. Second cycle, we have the all-time high, the dotted trend line representing it. Third year, we came up and we retested that all-time high before year's end. So according to what we have seen in the past, we are still expecting during this year a retest of the all-time high of last year, which is around $69,000. So that is a very important thing we are looking at. Expanding from that, guys, if we take a look at the top to bottom, days between top to bottom, we can see a very interesting pattern. On average, from our low of our first bear market, okay, the low of the first bear market within the first 4-year cycle phase to the high of the first all-time high in the first 4-year cycle phase, we had a total date range of 1,064 days. If we take a look at the next cycle, from the low to the high, we had a total date range of 1,064 days, the exact amount of time. If we take a look at the all-time high to the bottom, we had a total days of 364. And from the high to the bottom, we had a total days of 364. The exact amount of days 2 cycles in a row. That tells us if we see that pattern repeat, 1,064 days takes us to an estimated all-time high on October 6th, 2025. Something to keep in mind. But that is not the only reason why Bitcoin is bullish. Bitcoin is not only bullish on the macro, but it is following the 4-year cycle as per what you've seen. We are also seeing a few indicators that are indicating, again, we are bullish in the high time frame. Primarily, number one, we are sitting above the weekly Gaussian channel. And as we have seen in the first cycle, when we break above that weekly Gaussian channel and the weekly Gaussian channel turns green, we generally remain above the weekly Gaussian channel until after we print an all-time high. Only then do we break back under and enter towards those lows. We saw in the second cycle, we saw invalidation of that. However, this was a black swan event. This was our COVID-19 correction. It is hard to say for sure if we would have seen this play out the way it did, if COVID didn't happen. It is hard to say for sure if we would have seen the price action break back into the Gaussian channel. Regardless of what happens, we have to note the Gaussian channel, even with that correction, remained green the entire time. From that breakout and flip green, it remained green until it reached an all-time high. So assuming we do not see some sort of black swan event, assuming we see a repeat of what we saw in the first cycle, we would say that the Gaussian channel is going to be providing a base of support, and provided we remain above that Gaussian channel on the higher time frame, it is very likely the trend will continue in the macro until we reach the all-time high. That is currently sitting at 30,000. A second indicator we're taking a look at is going to be the baseline of the Ichimoku cloud. Looking at that first cycle, if we go ahead and zoom in really quickly, we can see when we broke above, that baseline right over here, we remained generally on and around that baseline all the way up until we created an all-time high. You can see the price hugged that baseline until we created that all-time high. Only then did we see these gaps between the price action and the baseline significantly. Moving forward, we can see the price action has broken over the baseline. You can see the baseline is sitting at 37,000, indicating 37,000 is going to be a potential area of support where Bitcoin could bounce from, or retrace to if we do see a correction, but it's very likely we will remain around about that baseline price until we reach an all-time high. So overall, Bitcoin is looking very bullish on the higher time frames. Now, there is one indicator that is looking slightly bearish, and that is going to be the RSI indicator, specifically the horizontal price point of 62.09 on the RSI. Historically, every single time we break above 62.09, after being below it, we end up seeing a rally in Bitcoin. Every single time we break below the 62.09, after being above it, we end up seeing a correction in Bitcoin. Now, in this instance, we have already seen the 20% correction. This is indicating to us if we get that weekly candle close below 62.09, we could see a short extended correction. Again, these corrections take us to high time frame support levels, so it's likely we could see that correction take us a little bit lower towards that 36K zone. Let's go ahead and jump into the short-term charts. On these short-term charts, guys, we are looking... well, we're in a downtrend, all right? We're still in a downtrend. Objectively speaking, we are still looking relatively weak. The bulls are attempting to regain strength. They're attempting to regain control. However, they have not quite done so yet, but we can see the effort. We can see they're attempting to do so as we can take a look at the overall momentum. We can take a look at our volume. We can see that they're trying to spin this price around, but they haven't broken through those key trigger points that will actually facilitate a shift in the overall strength. So let's take a look at those trigger points. We have first and foremost the horizontal resistance. This horizontal resistance zone over here is acting as a major resistance. As you can see, guys, we've had a few days now of consolidation just underneath that on that orange line. That corresponds with the low range of this horizontal resistance range. The horizontal resistance range is the price point between $40,245 to $40,800. That is our area of resistance. We can see as well with this resistance, we have a diagonal trend line, which is representative of the current trend. And again, we can draw our horizontal neckline of resistance up over here. We can see this is going to be our diagonal trend. We have our diagonal downtrend starting, rejecting from 2 points, validating this as a trend. We can see this is reflective of the current downtrend Bitcoin is in. And thirdly, we can see the 50 EMA is pushing into this area of resistance. So if we're looking for a reversal, we have to see three things: structure break, trend break, and strength flip positive. Okay, so how do we see that? We need to see the break above this diagonal trend line, a break above the horizontal resistance, and as a consequence, we would break above the 50 EMA, which would reflect short-term strength on the 4-hour chart. That would facilitate a continuation upwards, or at least an attempted reversal for Bitcoin. That is what we're looking at for us to say the downtrend on Bitcoin's chart is officially over. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see we do have a structural base of support sitting around 38,000. This area has been retested numerous times back in November before we eventually broke out of that ascending triangle pattern, actually pushing Bitcoin above 40,000 to around 44,000. We can see this area now is acting as an area of support. This would be a very key level of support, and a loss of this level of support could push Bitcoin down. We are looking for a price point, okay? We are looking for a price point of this low over here, which is sitting around about 36,700 to 37,000. If we go back to our weekly chart, we can see the baseline of the Ichimoku cloud is sitting at a price point of $37,000 to $36,900. That $100 range is where it is sitting. That is what we're looking for a retest. If we do see that retest, we would expect a reversal to develop from over here. Again, guys, if we see a correction downward, hypothetically we see this. Let's just hypothetically say that. The levels of key resistance then become, number one, the horizontal resistance that we are least or closest to, which would be this point here. And number two, the diagonal trend line that we would still be underneath, as it will reflect the current trajectory of the trend. And thus, for a reversal to develop, we would have to break above these two levels, with this level still acting as a intermediate level of resistance for a higher time frame continuation upwards. So these levels will remain valid regardless of what Bitcoin does. So it's very important to chart them on your chart and keep our eye on them. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes lower or higher, these levels will still have a degree of significance regardless of what happens. So it's very important to watch those levels play out. Now, if Bitcoin does push upwards, we would expect a continuation to the POC level, which is sitting around $43,000. And again, like we said, if Bitcoin goes downwards from here, we are first expecting a retest of 38.2 and then 37 according to the high time frame charts. So overall, guys, we've told you guys what to expect on the short term. We're telling you and showing you that the bulls are trying to regain strength, however, have not done so yet. A lot of coins are looking actually surprisingly bullish. They are looking like they're forming reversals. However, forming a reversal and actually reversing are two different things. A lot of coins have not actually yet reversed. They're just retesting major areas of support. If we do see Bitcoin reverse, it is very likely we will see reversals across the board for most of these coins, and the prices will continue toward the upside. If we look at historical data, there is no need to assume at the moment we have absolutely zero data besides pure speculation that Bitcoin is going to be dropping to new lows this year and will not continue as per the 4-year cycle. There is nothing to suggest that yet. From a technical perspective on the weekly, from a technical perspective on the monthly, everything is still looking macro bullish. There is one particular bad thing, and that is the current monthly candle. Again, if we get a bearish engulfing candle, we could see a few months of downtrend. However, that downtrend is very unlikely, as we have seen in the past. We'll go over it again. People keep forgetting this. We have seen rejections from the dotted trend line once and twice. We've seen that happen in both cycles. But in none of those cycles did we ever see that rejection result in a monthly candle close below the base level, which is this black trend line. The base level is the low of the bear market consolidation prior to the mass capitulation event, which takes us to the lows. The low of the bear market consolidation prior to the mass capitulation event. That is sitting at a price of 32,000. So it doesn't matter what Bitcoin looks like on the short term. According to macro data, Bitcoin is bullish while it remains monthly candle above 32,000. It's only when we start dropping below 32,000, if we zoom out to a 3-day chart, which is going to be this cluster of support here, is when Bitcoin will start to look macro bearish as the yearly uptrending support will officially be lost. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video, hit a comment button, let me know what you think down below. It's always fun doing these videos for you guys. Check out the Crypto Academy courses. It is a 10-unit course. We teach you TA, we teach you analysis, we teach you everything you need to know. And remember guys, join that Telegram channel. Why not? It is free. Go ahead and check it out. We post everything in there all day, every day. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.